Hello everyone, welcome back to the POPSICLE KNIGHT channel. My name is Joseph, and for today, we'll be talking about Corviknight from Darkness Ablaze. But before that, I want to first thank you for taking the time out of your day to check out this video. Please click the thumbs up if you like this video, hit the thumbs down if you don't. It helps me out in getting this video out to more viewers like you. And please consider subscribing to this channel if you haven't already, and be sure to share this content. So let's get started. I haven't seen anyone showcasing what Corviknight can do yet. I thought it would be interesting to create a build with Corviknight acting as a support. Corviknight has 160 HP, and it is a stage 2, which makes it really awkward to use, and it has 1 attack. For 3 colorless energy, Blasting Wind will do 120 base damage. But its ability, Flying Taxi, is very interesting. If you evolve it into a Corviknight from your hand, you may put one of your Pokemon except any Corviknight and all attached to it into your hand. So this is basically a scoop up net for any Pokemon, but unlike scoop up net, you don't discard anything. All the attached cards go back into your hand. So as a support, this is really good for preventing your opponent from knocking out your heavily damaged Pokemon, or to just simply make space in your board. I don't think a scoop up net is viable for this one because I really want it to evolve right away, so I will instead use the Evolution Spray Z to devolve it. This will devolve Corviknight and shuffle its evolution card back into the deck. To make it easier for us to find Corviknight, I thought I would pair it with Togekiss VMAX because of its attack Max Glide. For 2 colorless energy, it will do 120 base damage, but after which you can search your deck for any 2 cards, so we can find Corviknight this way, and this will be our main attacker. And because Togekiss VMAX and even Corviknight are colorless Pokemon, we can take advantage of the powerful energy, which can potentially increase their attacks. But even with the 120 attack damage, we can make those attacks even more dangerous with the help of Barraskewda from Vivid Voltage. With its attack, Targeted Skewer, it can do 20 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon for each damage counter on that Pokemon. So between the other attackers and Barraskewda, you can deal a total of 360 damage in 2 turns to one of your opponent's Pokemon. But since Barraskewda's Targeted Skewer attack only deals damage to the bench and not the active, we'll also be using Fion to push any Pokemon out of the active when needed. I will also be using Porygon Z with the Crazy Code ability. As often as you like, you can attach a special energy card from your hand to any of your Pokemon. Porygon Z is a real staple for this deck because if we happen to use Corviknight to devolve any of our Pokemon, you can just simply reattach all the energies to your Pokemon. Because this build in particular is very complicated in what I wanted to do, and we have a few stage 2 Pokemon in this deck, I just didn't have enough room for other cards that I wish I could include. As for energy, I have 2 Capture Energy, 4 Powerful Energy, 3 Recycle Energy, 4 Wash Energy, and 2 Weakness Guard Energy. Because there are a lot of elements in this deck that you need to set up to make it work, it's not as consistent as I would like it to be. But it does work. Well, that's pretty much it for the deck, but enough talk, let's see some gameplay. Alright, so we'll use the coin flip. Our opponent is gonna go first. Okay. So ideally, Snorlax will go into the active. That's the first thing that is ideal, so that you can continue to get cards in your hand. And what we want to do here is set up as much basic Pokemon in our bench. So we definitely need Porygon. We have Rookidee already in the bench. We need, speaking of, we need Arrokuda, and of course Togekiss V. We need to set that up. So we're up against the Dark Box here. Let's just put this Water Energy, and I'm just gonna Marnie. We don't want to discard our cards as much as possible because a lot of them are really necessary in this play. I am still using U-turn board here, but I opted to use Big Charm instead, because I was seeing that you don't really need to use as much of the retreat. That's why we're gonna have Switch and instead Big Charm, because I've had a lot of games already where Togekiss actually was knocked out at 330 HP or 330 damage, and that little health could have prevented any major loss. So Big Charm, I think, is a better tool card to fit into this deck. But for now, U-turn board is actually really good for retreating your Pokemon, especially when your opponent tries to trap you, especially with your Pokemon that has high retreat cost. So for the meantime, their Sableye V won't be doing enough damage because they don't have any ways to do damage to our Snorlax. At least we're setting up our Porygon here, and I'm just gonna boss's order this Grimmsnarl V into the active because it can't attack, and even if it does, it's not gonna hit for much damage, and they don't have any ways to put enough counter or energy on it. So it's good we have the setup for Porygon Z. All we need to do is use Rare Candy and evolve Porygon, and all we have to do is probably use Professor's Research. We're gonna use Quick Ball for sure to get our Togekiss, and we can start setting up that way. So that's gonna be our next move. So basically the whole point of this deck build is to attack with Togekiss, and then even if you deal 120 damage, it's okay because Barraskewda will take care of the rest, and we just have to push our opponent back into the bench. But when we get hit hard, when our Togekiss gets hit hard, we'll have to use Corviknight to get it out of the active, and ideally you want to have 2 Togekiss Vs, one in the active and one in the bench, so even when you use Corviknight, you can replace and evolve the next one, the next Togekiss in the bench. So that's ideally what it's supposed to be. So for now, I'm just gonna put Togekiss, and then we're gonna Gormandize. We also evolved Rookidee into Corvisquire, and we get an evolution for Barraskewda, which is really good. And then you get 2 options here. If you want to start with Snorlax, that's great, but also you can also start with Togekiss V. But one thing you gotta keep in mind, you need to have 2 energies and Togekiss VMAX to be able to start getting the cards you want from the deck. So if you don't have an evolution VMAX and you don't have 2 energies, it's not ideal. Otherwise you're gonna get trapped, and then you're gonna be depending on top deck of your card, the card of your top deck, and it's not gonna go well unless you get your trainer cards. So we're gonna just use Marnie here. We have an evolution incense, which we can get for Corviknight, and we get another energy, recycle energy, and now we just have to get Snorlax out of the active. But for now, let's just Gormandize here. Either they knock it out, or we have a switch to get it out of the active. So at least we have Skyla. We can get a switch out of this. And now this is where it gets interesting, because now they've evolved into Grimmsnarl VMAX. And if they get enough energy on it, we should actually still be fine, because it's gonna hit for 270 damage, and Togekiss VMAX should survive its attacks. Alright, so they were short 1 HP or 1 damage counter, so they had no choice but to attack. So what we're gonna do here is attack, and we got a Corviknight. What we're gonna do here is I think I'm just gonna prepare another Porygon Z just in case they knock this one out. But for now, I'm just gonna prep the second Togekiss V in our bench and add a powerful energy in the active so we can get more damage off of that. So what we're gonna do is basically just attack it for 140, and then yeah, let's just go with that. And what we could do even is get, let's see, we don't have Fion, so we don't really need to unfortunately we don't have Fion. That's what I was gonna say. So I'm just gonna get a Porygon 2 to evolve our Porygon, And let's see. You know what? I'll just get 2 powerful energy instead, actually. We do get confused because of the ear-ringing bell attached on Grimmsnarl. So they probably think it's a free shot with this one. Beyond, so that's 300 damage. 250? Oh, that's right. They don't have 5 energies. So I'm just gonna go ahead and evolve Corviknight. Get this Togekiss VMAX out of the active. Put the other Togekiss in the active. And I'm gonna evolve the second one. And then put Togekiss V. And I think we can knock this guy out if we put the full powerful energy, all 4 powerful energy on this Togekiss VMAX in the active. So even with this, actually, we should be... we don't even need a Barraskewda to attack it in the bench. Anyways, we have no way to get it out of the bench. So I'm just gonna get an evolution spray here, devolve Corviknight. So now we're ready for the next round if we need to. And let's see. I'm just gonna max glide for a KO. 200 damage, 340. Then I'm gonna get Corviknight again. And let's see, should I get Togekiss VMAX? I'll get another devolution spray so that we can recycle this whole process again. So we get 3 prize cards for that. We get another Porygon Z and a switch. Okay. Yeah, so that's gonna be the whole process basically. You just recycle that, they hit hard, then we take it out with Corviknight and then do the whole thing over and over again. So now Togekiss VMAX is confused. We could just retreat, but I want this powerful energy on our second Togekiss V. So I think it's best if we just use Corviknight and get this Togekiss VMAX out of the active. And then recycle the one from the bench. Evolve that into Togekiss VMAX. Evolve this into Porygon 2. And then devolve Corviknight again. And then we start the whole process over again if we need to. And let's just crazy code all of this powerful energy on our active. And we should be dealing enough damage to knock out the Sableye V actually. So let's hit done. Let's just get 2 more energy on this Togekiss V. And I'm just gonna max glide. Oh! Alright, well, good game. Yeah, we would have been hitting for 200 damage, so we would have taken care of that Sableye V anyway, so. Alright. On to our next match. Let's get heads. We lose. And we go first. No! Our opponent goes first, my bad. So, alright, we got Togekiss, 2 Togekiss, which is really good. And we got 2 energies. So let's set up Togekiss into the active. And you know, having 2 Togekiss in play is ideal anyway, so we can put the other Togekiss in the bench. Put Arrokuda in the bench as well. And put an energy on our active maybe. So let's just do that. So we're up against a fighting deck. Okay, Sandaconda V. Yeah, that's a formidable deck to face for sure. So we got Porygon. So I'm just gonna attack for 40 here because we can. See, the thing with Togekiss V and VMAX actually is pretty good. It's a good matchup against fighting because we are we have resistance against fighting types, but we still need to be careful for sure. Lightning decks, not so much against. We have really little chance to go against lightning decks. We do have weakness guard, but especially the Pikarom decks right now are pretty fast, so I always have trouble against those types of matchups. But with this one, we shouldn't have any trouble with this one. But if we get everything set up correctly, we should be fine actually, because this Sandaconda hits for 200 plus damage, so we should survive its attacks. But we do need to set up really quickly. We need to get that cycle going with Corviknight and Togekiss VMAX. So I think I'm just gonna use Quick Ball here so we can get our Snorlax and we can Gormandize. We do need more cards to really set up, and that actually was a good Gormandize, because now we got Rare Candy to get our Porygon Z up and going, and we have a Togekiss VMAX. So our opponent basically relies on Colossal with its Tar Generator ability, and Sandaconda V basically attacks for that 200 damage, but then it will discard 2 energies, and that Colossal Tar Generator basically just regenerates it from the discard. So that recycling of energy is very deadly for sure. Alright, so they have a few chances to get that attack going, and with the boss's order, our other Togekiss is knocked out. So we're in a little bit of a pickle here. At least we can evolve the other Togekiss, which we will promote in the active. So now it can tank an attack or 2, but we need to set up our Rookidee and Corviknight line basically, and another Togekiss. So I think I'm just gonna research here. We have Porygon Z to put energy anyway, so I'm not too worried about discarding everything else. Let's just crazy code 2 energy, capture energy. Unfortunately, we don't have the other Togekiss. I'm just gonna get a Rookidee here, and let's get Togekiss V and that Corvisquire back into the deck. So let's use Quick Ball. Let's get rid of this, get our Togekiss, and then put it on the bench. Now our cycle is up and running. We can use this Evolution Incense to get our Corvisquire in our next turn if we need to. And so our whole setup is basically, it's gonna be good. So let's just get this energy on Togekiss VMAX, and I think I'm just gonna leave the other energy in the bench, or in our hand, and I'm just gonna attack for 120. We do have a Fion, so we can push it back if we need to. Let's get Corvisquire, and I mean, if they do attack us, so if they attack us, we'll need another turn. I think I will have to just get a VMAX here, because our Corviknight is not set up yet. So we'll evolve into Corvisquire first, and then we can just retreat with Togekiss VMAX, evolve the other one into VMAX, because we won't survive a second attack. So like here, they'll attack. We don't have a Corviknight yet, so we can't do that cycle just yet. So let's just evolve into Corvisquire, evolve this into Togekiss VMAX, retreat, and then what we're gonna do is crazy code these two energies on our active, and we should knock it out at least. And then we have an evolution incense to do the cycle. But then even if we do that, that's this thing we gotta figure out. So let's get a Corviknight and a Devolution Spray. Let's see, I think that's the best option we can do. So they'll hit for 200 damage. Well, we got another Togekiss, which is really good actually. Let's see, we gotta figure this out. So now we'll have two Pokemon with 200 damage. We can use Corviknight to... We can use Corviknight to devolve one. Ooh, they got Boss's Order. They can just Boss's Order this Togekiss VMAX and knock it out. They'll get 3 prize cards for that. Okay. If they have another Eldegoss V, we're done for. But at least now we have a clean cycle here. So let's put Togekiss VMAX in the active. We'll put Togekiss V on the bench. And we basically have a clean slate. We just gotta watch out for those Boss's Order. And I think we could just attack here. And we can survive any attack basically after this. As long as they don't Boss's Order us, we should be fine. So let's search the deck for a Boss's Order and a powerful energy. You know what? Recycle energy is better because that will ensure that we'll always have 2 energies in our hand. Okay. I mean, we could just hit this Sandaconda V one more time. We should be fine. Alright, there's the Dojo. Sand Breath for 200 damage. Okay. We're fine. Let's Corviknight here. Get this out of the active. Recycle the one from the bench. Evolve it. Put the other Togekiss in the bench. And then we'll put a powerful energy. Now we're ready to attack. And I think I'm just gonna Boss's Order this Colossal, because it's the one that's basically generating all this energy. It's the heart of that deck. That's why we gotta eliminate it. I'm just gonna put this energy, 2 energy on our bench Togekiss V, and I'm gonna devolve Corviknight again. We can Max Glide for 140. Actually need one more powerful energy to knock it out. So I'll just get that. So if we need to hit for 160 next turn, that's good. We can use Skyla to get a Devolution Spray if we still have any. At least putting, if they have a switch, then that's another story. But for now, they'll need a lot of energy to on Colossal to get it out of the active. So that's putting them in a bad spot because it has 4 retreat cost and it's hard to get it out of the active. But if they don't have Colossal, that's gonna be a problem for them, because even if they have that, if they have another Sandaconda V, they're not gonna be able to generate it as fast. So let's see what they do. we're pretty much all set with our setup. So this is the ideal setup. You have a VMAX in the active, Togekiss V in the bench. You have Porygon Z to re-energize if you need to. You have Barraskewda to hit your opponent's bench if you need to. And a Stage 1 Corvisquire ready to be evolved into Corviknight to get your VMAX out of the active. So we'll just use Skyla here to get an evolution spray if we need it. But for now, I think I'm just gonna retreat actually. We can use Barraskewda here to knock out this Oh! Dummy! I forgot they have Mew in the bench. Dude, my mind is so focused on that Sandaconda that I didn't look at the other Pokemon in their bench. I don't even know what the other is that Entei? I don't even know what exactly that does. So I think I'm just gonna retreat Barraskewda. Foolish me. My bad. Just knock out this Colossal then. No, we don't even need to search. We got everything we need in our hand right now. And we'll just get a price card off of that. So we got Entei now in the active. Not sure exactly why they have this in the deck. But yeah, you can just take care of this one. Get another price card for it. Yeah, it's nothing special. I don't know why they're playing it. Okay, they're gonna set up their Roly-Coly again, and then possibly evolve it into Colossal. But they're gonna give it to us. So I think I'm just gonna evolve Corviknight here, so I can get this Snorlax out of the bench here. And then I'm just gonna devolve Corviknight again. And let's see. I'm just gonna leave it for Fion just in case. I'm just gonna max glide for KO here. Yeah, let's search for Corviknight for sure and a Fion. So, you know, there's no running away here. We can. Oh, you know what? That Mew is still there though. We gotta take care of that if we need to. So now we can hit this Sandaconda V. Yeah, it hits for 200, man. That's nothing to scoff at, but let's do the whole process again. Corviknight, get this Togekiss V Max, and then evolve the one from the bench, and then crazy code the energies, these powerful energies into our active, put the other one on the bench, and then devolve Corviknight so that we can use it in our next turn. And I'm just gonna put Fion in the bench, and you know what? Let's get Corviknight, you know. So, and then let's just max glide for the KO, and that'll get us our last 2 price cards. So yeah, so this is basically the whole setup, the whole process. You know, if you get everything set up, it really does work. The only thing you gotta really watch out for are boss's orders. But anyways, good game. Alright, you guys ready for another match? We lose the coin flip, and we go first. Okay, I like going first actually with this deck, because there's a lot of setup, especially we have a lot of stage 2s. So I do prefer going first. If we are up against like fire decks, then consider probably not going first. But anyways, let's put Togekiss V in our active and Arrokuda in the bench. So our opponent will mulligan. And speaking of fire decks, we are up against Cinderace VMAX. So let's see how we fare against this match. So we got Togekiss VMAX in our hand here. So we can definitely evolve that in our next turn. let's just use Quick Ball here to set up the other Pokemon. I think we can get rid of that one and just get ourselves Porygon. I think Snorlax would be better, I think, because we are up against a fire deck. They could just knock us out really quickly if they have Welder. So getting as much of the setup, I think, is more important. So at least now we got 2 Rookidees available. Setting up one line of Corviknight actually will do. It's because you really need to have space for your other Pokemon. So you need Barraskewda, you need 2 lines of Togekiss, Porygon Z, and Vion if you need to. So you're very limited in space, and Corviknight is just there to basically support and get Togekiss VMAX out if it has a lot of damage already. So there's really no use in setting up 2 Rookidees. You basically need to set 1 basic in the bench, and that's ideal. That's the ideal setup. So 2 Togekiss, 1 Rookidee, 1 Porygon. Let's see. No, we need a Porygon here, not Fion. Nope. Okay, there. And then let's put it there. Let's just put this water energy, wash energy, and we'll evolve into Togekiss. We have no way of getting Snorlax out of the active, so let's just use Ordinary Rod, get these 2 back. Cause I don't know. I have a bad habit of not checking what's in my deck, so I'll just get those 2, and then that will leave some space for our Garmin dice that got us more cards. So now at least we can use Evo Sense. If we have a rare candy, we can evolve right away into Porygon Z. Okay, so it's our turn. Let's just get Corvisquire all set up here. And I think Evolution and Sense. Let's see. I think I'll just get a Barraskewda here. We are dealing with a VMAX, so having this set up, I think, is good. Put a powerful energy on our VMAX and just Gorman Dice. So we have another VMAX in our hand. We just gotta get Snorlax out of the active. Dude, Toucannon! Dude, I love that card. If you haven't checked out my video on Toucannon, please do. It's epic. Anyways, I love seeing cards being played like that. So my hat's off to our opponent. So I'm just gonna Max Glide. Unfortunately, it is not strong enough to go against our Togekiss VMAX. So let's see. What do we need here? Wait. Are all of our Porygon Z's in the... Oh my gosh. It is all prized. What in the world? I'm just gonna get a rare candy and a devolution here. Hopefully we get one Porygon Z. Oh. Oh, we got another rare candy. So 2 of our Porygon Z's are prized. So that's very unfortunate. And we need that in this combo. If we devolve, there's no way we can attack you. But you know what? I think what we need to start doing actually is put an energy on our Togekiss in the bench. Even if we don't have Porygon Z, it'll be all set up, and we have we have another Togekiss VMAX in the bench anyways, or in our hands, so we should still be able to do this regardless, and we can knock out this Volcanion easily. So our opponent is giving us free prize cards here. I'll just put that energy on Togekiss V, Max Glide for a KO. Hopefully we get a Porygon Z. But first, let's search for our deck, see what we need here. No, I don't need a... Let's see, Corviknight is what we need. And I think I'm just gonna get this. So I can evolve... Let's see. Dude, there's our Porygon Z. Okay, so I actually got Porygon 2 just in case. Because we can't use rare candy anyways, and even if they Marnie, if we get the prize card, we can just evolve it into Porygon Z. So, but now we can just use our rare candy to evolve it. So we're all good. We're all good here, and we're all set with our cycle here. Even if they attack for 160, while Toucannon can double 2-hit knockout our Togekiss V Max, really they should be playing more than one line of Toucannon at a time. So let's just Corviknight our Togekiss in the active, evolve the one from the bench, put another Togekiss in the bench, devolve Corviknight, and then the process continues. What we're gonna do is crazy code energies onto our Togekiss V Max in the active, and put one energy on Togekiss V, and we can attack for KO. 160 damage. So having 2 powerful energy is just enough to knock out this Toucannon. So let's get a Corviknight and let's get a Fion here. So I'm just setting up for later. If they set up their Cinderace VMAX, at least we're ready. All we have to do is hit with Togekiss VMAX for 120, and we can Fion and then Barraskewda for a KO. So that's the whole plan anyways. You can also use Corviknight actually to do 120. So if you want to come in with a clutch and you don't have any other attackers, maybe you can rare candy a Rookidee into Corviknight, and with crazy code Porygon Z, you can, if you have enough energy, you can attach them to Corviknight to do 120, and then you can you can KO a VMAX with Barraskewda and Corviknight as well. So, all right, so they do pass the turn to us, and we're just gonna max glide here again. Free prize cards, dude. I'm just gonna get a boss order, and I think that's all I need actually. Okay, there's our other Porygon Z. So if we need to set up another one, we should be okay. But yeah, that's the thing with this whole build with Togekiss VMAX. As long as our opponent cannot one-hit KO a VMAX, like 310, and we do have a big charm actually. I keep forgetting to set that up. Okay, they're gonna switch it, but that's fine. Let's use Skyla to get ourselves a switch, and we'll just put Togekiss VMAX into the active. I attached that energy just in case we need to retreat and we don't have a switch. So let's, what do we want to, we want to search for anything? Yeah, let's see what we need here. Big charm for sure, and a powerful energy. It's gonna help. So yeah, if with big charm, that gives Togekiss VMAX 340 HP. So I've been in a lot of battles already with this particular build, with testing and everything, and I always get knocked out with like 330 HP, and I always like wish, oh man, I wish I had a big charm at least to add that extra 30 HP for survivability. So that 340 HP puts you at that Eternatus VMAX HP. So Cinderace hits us for 170, and we're just gonna devolve with Corviknight, put that back in our hand, I mean, and then we're gonna recycle a new Togekiss VMAX into the active. But yeah, Big Charm really does make a difference, I think, in this deck. And unless your opponent can one-hit KO a VMAX or hit for more than 340 damage, like Blacephalon, or some other dark decks out there that can do like 1 billion damage, this particular build actually makes you invincible, or at least you won't die at all. I mean, until you run out of devolution sprays. But yeah, you basically just keep recycling Togekiss VMAX until you win the game, and your opponent won't leave a dent. So the only thing with this deck, actually, if they have a lot of bosses order and they do target the main components of your build, like for example Porygon Z, you can always set up another Porygon Z if you expect that they can just knock it out easily. But if they have a lot of gusting effects on their decks, you will definitely have a hard time. Lightning decks will hit for weakness, so it's not an ideal matchup with this particular build. So I'm just gonna Fion here, and I'm just gonna retreat with Barraskewda, and we're just gonna knock out the Cinderace VMAX for the win. And so that's basically how this deck works. Corviknight is something else. I really enjoyed making a build around it, and good game to our opponent. Corviknight is definitely an interesting card. It is usable, but awkward because it is a stage 2. With Togekiss VMAX power to find cards from the deck though, made it a lot easier to really set up and use Corviknight. And that's it for today. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to smash that like button. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and please subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, stay safe and have a great day.